isolation point should be in the fixed wiring. It's as simple as that for me. An isolation point that is in a piece of equipment that is connected to the electrical installation is not a place where you can make an effective isolation as a consumer and user or as an electrician. Because the same thing as you said, if there's a problem with the inverter, say the customer's seen some smoke coming out the back of it because an MC4 is melting away on there, they're going to want to go and be messing about with a DC isolator next to that or start pulling at the cables. They want to go and find every switch and isolator they can and start knocking them off while they're on the phone to you or me about it to get us to come out and have a look. That is what should be there, and I think it's a lazy argument to say the other, and unfortunately those people who are trying to sell this stuff at scale are using that to justify their approach in offering a cheaper solution through cutting that out. I think it's been used as a marketing tool where it affects diligent installation companies who want to try and do the right thing from losing work at the end of the day.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think just to share one story on what I've found before, I may have said this on the podcast, but I know I haven't said it recently, so new listeners won't have heard it. But I went to an install that we didn't do, but I went there because the inverter had stopped generating. And they knew that, like most customers know that, because they've submitted their feed-in tariff payments and they said something must be wrong because it's the same reading as your last reading. So there must be something wrong over like a 3-month gap. So I went up there and the inverter was on this real little bit of wall that was up in this loft, and it was quite a tight loft. And the first thing I noticed was that there was 4 MC4s into the bottom of the inverter, but there was no cables. And when I had a look and I got my torch out, I saw that these cables came from, for people listening, let's say that the inverter is on the left-hand side of the loft, but towards the middle of the loft. Well, the cables came from the back right of the loft, and there was not one clip on these cables at all. And they came all the way along the back of the loft to the left-hand side where the inverter was, and then forward towards the middle of the loft where the inverter was. And they were they'd been no clipping at all, just been laid on top of the loft insulation and then gone into the bottom of the MC4s, obviously, and then plugged into the inverter, no DC isolator. And what had happened was there was boxes all around the central part of the loft because that's where the loft hatch was. So it became very obvious to me that what had been happening is the customer had been chucking boxes up into the loft and then taking them back out and then chucking more back in, Christmas trees, things like that. And because these cables weren't secured, a box must have caught the loop that had gone up towards the inverter, and as it had then put its weight on, the box's weight had then ripped the cable out of the bottom of the MC4.